Hi, this is Nickman2K, the newest member of TeamTakeUm, and I'm here today to talk to you about the 2012-2013 NFL MVP. We had a great 2012-2013 season this year. We had a lot of great players. We had J.J. Watt, who is definitely going to get Defensive Player of the Year. He had 20.5 sacks. We had Aaron Rodgers, who led his team back to the playoffs, just missed out on a bye week, threw 39 touchdowns, only, I think, 7 interceptions this season, and he played great and lights out. But mainly today, I'm going to talk to you about the top 3 players who I believe will win MVP or have a chance at winning MVP this season. And I want to go over each stat with you and why I believe they will be candidates for winning MVP this season. All right, now the first player I want to talk about with a chance at winning an MVP this season is Tom Brady. Now, everybody knows Tom Brady. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He has 3 Super Bowl victories. He's been to the Super Bowl 5 times. And he's been leading his team to the playoffs year in and year out. And this year, like every other year, a phenomenal season. Tom Brady had 34 touchdown passes with only 7 interceptions, led his team to a 12-4 mark, back to the divisional round of the playoffs with a bye week already, on his belt for the season. He also ran, surprisingly, for 4 touchdowns, which is something you normally don't see Tom Brady do. But he led an offense that was rolling throughout the entire season. I'm pretty sure that it led the league in total points. And Tom Brady, you have to always put him into consideration, especially when talking about MVP and MVP voting. I believe he had over a 98 quarterback rating this season, which was, I'm pretty sure, good for top 5, definitely top 10 in the league. And as I said before, led a Patriots team to a 12-4 record. Now, the only knock I'm going to say on Tom Brady, those 4 losses, one of them came against an Arizona Cardinals team who was really not that good this season. But, you're going to lose some games, and you know what? You got to blame the kicker on that game. Not trying to bring him up, but Tom Brady did lead them down the field at the end of the game and had a chance for them to win the game, but they ended up losing. But overall, Tom Brady has been probably one of the best players in the league over the past decade, and in consideration for MVP, you have to put up all of his stats and take a look at it compared to everybody else, and you have to give him a fair shot at winning it. Now, my second player for the MVP voting this season is a player that's familiar with MVP voting, and he has multiple MVPs on his resume, and that's Peyton Manning. Now, we all know that Peyton Manning missed last season because of a neck injury, and we saw what happened with the Colts team that he was on last season, and they went to 2-14 on the season. Now, you look at him this year, the neck's fine, and we all know that now, and Peyton Manning registered probably the second greatest season he's ever had as a quarterback, posting over a 105 quarterback rating. Not as good as that 121 QB rating he had a few years back when he threw 49 touchdowns and I believe a career low 10 picks, but either way, Peyton Manning was phenomenal this year. He threw for 37 touchdowns, had 11 interceptions. You know what? He hasn't lost a game in almost 3 months. And you really have to take that in consideration, especially with Peyton Manning, who's one of the best players of all time. Came into a new system, learned it, kind of struggled in the beginning. And you can't even say struggled, but he wasn't playing, Peyton Manning level football we saw earlier with his arm. But as the season progressed, his arm strength grew. He had a lot more confidence in his receivers. Demaryius Thomas, Eric Decker both played huge roles on Peyton Manning. But you know what? Peyton Manning played bigger roles on them as a quarterback, and he taught them to be better receivers. And he just makes the offense around him that much better. And when you look at Peyton Manning and just the work ethic he puts in as a quarterback, you have to always put him in consideration for MVP and comeback player of the year. So he would be one of my top players definitely for MVP this season. Now, the third player in my MVP voting this season will be Adrian Peterson. Now, Adrian Peterson this season averaged 6 yards per carry. Just take that into consideration. You have 3 downs in order to get a first down. You give the ball to him twice every play of the drive, and you're going to get a first down. Now, Adrian Peterson averaged over 130 yards this season, which definitely ranked first in the NFL, and nobody was even close to him. The next closest person, Alfred Morris, who had 1,613 yards rushing on the season. Now, you put Adrian Peterson, 2,097 yards, and I believe 8 yards rushing away from Eric Dickerson's all-time single-season rushing record. Now, Adrian Peterson carried the offense the entire season. Christian Ponder, his job there is just to manage the game, not turn the ball over, and basically just give it to Adrian Peterson. And Adrian Peterson also was coming back from a ankle injury, a leg injury, and he performed unbelievable this season. And you have to put in consideration as him being probably one of the top players, not just on his team, but also in the league. And without him, there's no way that Minnesota makes the playoffs this year. In fact, the guy also had 8 games rushing for 100-plus yards, and I believe over the last 10 games had 1,500 yards rushing alone in just those games. All right, now my pick for MVP this season. It's a very tough one. It's a very tough decision indeed. You had Peyton Manning, you had Tom Brady, who both led their teams back to the playoffs. Peyton Manning, new system, new team. You know what? Same deal. He's back there. He's got a bye week. He's got home field advantage throughout the playoffs. You have Tom Brady, another seasoned vet. He's back in the playoffs. He has a bye week, bringing the same Patriots team that he had last year. You know what? We're going to see what one of them can do. But you know what? I'm going to have to go with Adrian Peterson as the MVP this season. If you just look at the entire work ethic of Adrian Peterson, what he's done for this team and what he means for the Minnesota Vikings team, he means everything. Without him, this team may not win 5 games this season. Christian Ponder, as I said earlier, he has to manage the game. Adrian Peterson takes the game over, and he takes the game to a whole nother level. And when you average 130 yards per game and no defense can stop you, what can I say, really? The guy injured his leg last year, and you didn't expect him to come back, maybe not even 50%. And you're seeing what this guy can do on one leg. Just imagine if that was 100%, healthy and cured. He'd be playing a lot better. And the guy still rushed for 2,097, 98 yards. It was 8 yards away, like I said, from Eric Dickerson's record. So for all you YouTube fans out there, Adrian Peterson is my pick for NFL MVP this season. And without him, Minnesota and the train stops, and they need him. And I'm going to definitely say that Adrian Peterson will win the 2012-2013 MVP. All right, and that should be it. Definitely take a look at TeamTakeUm blog spot down below. Definitely subscribe. Leave some comments down there as well. And let me know who do you think will win MVP this season. And that's Nickman2K signing off today, and I hope you guys have a great day.